What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the driver's seat. We're here today starting a new segment called Car News Weekly Recap. So we're going to talk about everything that's come out in this last week of car news. All right, so let's get right into it. Starting up with one of the more bigger news, and that is the Tesla truck basically having to recall essentially all of their trucks because of a problem with the accelerator pad. So apparently the accelerator pad can slide off. So like imagine like the batteries and like a control, where the battery cap is, it slides up like that, and it fits exactly like perfectly. It fits when it's depressed, and if it were to slide up, it would basically hold the accelerator pad at 100% throttle. So they're recalling that. They also halted Cybertruck deliveries, so they're going to be halting that. It's going to be an estimate 3,878 vehicles are covered in this recall, which is about 100% of all their Cybertrucks that were manufactured between November 13, 2023 to April 4th, 2024. It's pretty crazy. I mean, this will fall under their pretty bad, Tesla's notoriously bad quality control and issues with the production of their cars. All right, moving on to the next one. The 2024 Sierra EV just released their information about the EV, but the Denali Edition 1. So that one's going to be, it's going to have a range of supposedly 440 miles of range, up to towing capacity of 10,000 pounds, and hauling 1,450 cargo pounds. The first of the Sierra will be around 99,495, which is lower than their original estimate of the truck. I also have a video on that as well. It's going to be the fully loaded, that price, the $99,000 price. It is a fully loaded crab walk equipped Denali Edition 1. So the crab walk, if you haven't seen it, basically means that all four tires will turn the same way that the driver turns it from the steering wheel. So if you're going left, all four tires will turn to the left. It's pretty cool to get yourself out of some tricky situations, especially when you're doing some trail running and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Again, if you want a fully loaded Sierra EV, it's going to come at just under 100,000, but obviously with taxes and destination fees, yada yada yada, it's going to be over $100,000. Moving on to the next news that dropped this week, the 2024 Mercedes AMG C63 SE Performance. The C63 SE Performance is a plug-in hybrid with a Formula One inspired powertrain that produces 671 horsepower with its starting price of a steep $85,000. Some of the features will be all-wheel drive, a rear axle steering, and a Burmester sound system. So this bad boy is going to hit the dealers this spring, so it should be coming out fairly soon. Spring already started. It's going to have a pretty impressive 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, quarter mile times at 121 miles at just over 11 seconds. It's going to have the AMG version is going to be a hand-built 2.0 turbo 4 with an electric motor and a supercharger. This combination is going to bring it up to 671 horsepower with 752 pound-feet of torque. And it's going to obviously make the car more expensive. It's actually $7,800 more expensive than the previous V8-powered C63S sedan. That was last sold in 2021. For an extra cost, you can upgrade to the Pinnacle trim level, which equips the C63 with extra equipment such as augmented video for natural navigation system, heads-up display with info that's only available on the AMG car, Mercedes digital light setup, which includes projections. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool car. Next in the lineup here is the 2024 Shelby Super Snake. So the Super Snake is a limited edition Mustang with 2 engine options, one engine producing 480 horsepower, while the other, with a supercharger, produces 830 horsepower. Has a redesigned suspension, unique wheels, and a Borla exhaust. Other upgrades include obviously a stronger braking system and improved cooling. You need a lot to cool down this beast of a supercharger. This bad boy is the Shelby American, the new S650 Mustang, which is going to produce only 250 units. The 5.0 liter V8 Super Snake offers, like I mentioned, 480 and an 830 horsepower versions, which the 830 horsepower engine is going to have a 3.0-liter Whipple supercharger to reach those numbers. Let's see here. Any other information on this bad boy? The performance is also going to be trimming down some of the weight on this by adding carbon fiber with an aluminum hood, carbon fiber front fenders for the wide body kit, a new front fascia, and new rockers. The wheels also have they reduced them by 9 pounds with these new wheels. No pricing has been offered at this moment or revealed, but like I said, they're going to plan to start production this summer. Only 250s are going to be made for the 2024 model year. So if you got deep pockets and you want this car, you might as well start figuring out how to get your name in the allocations. There's also going to be a coupe and a convertible model, which changes the spoiler setup in the back. And if you opt for the fastback, you're going to get a huge wing. If you get the drop top, you will receive a duckbill spoiler instead. Interior is going to be very minimal in terms of what they have. Shelby logos, obviously, and a Super Snake model is going to have a manual transmission with a unique Shelby gear shifter. That's going to be pretty cool. Can't wait to see more on that. Right now, earlier this week, Ram put out a teaser trailer. It's kind of fun to say. A teaser with a Ram towing a covered truck. So that covered truck is supposedly going to be the new replacement. Well, it's going to be an indirect replacement for the TRX. So it's going to be the 2025 Ram RHO. So this one is going to be a more calm and tame version of the TRX. It's going to have the styling of the TRX, a twin-turbo straight-six engine that can produce at least 550 horsepower. We won't know until April 25th when they release the full reveal. It's going to be at a lower price point, so we don't know the pricing yet. It's going to be potentially right above the Rebel, which the Rebel trim level sits at, I think like 61,000. So it's going to be around, 70 to 80,000. So they're doing this in hopes to bring in a new clientele in terms of someone that can't necessarily afford the $100,000 TRX or, a Raptor, but they can afford an $80,000 truck. So yeah, so again, this is just all speculation, but it is rumored that this is going to be what they are revealing on April 25th. So this one, like I said, is going to have a Hurricane twin turbo 3.0 liters straight six, 550 horsepower, 521 feet of torque. It's going to be redesigned a little bit. It's going to look a little bit different. And yeah, so April 25th, we'll be looking out for that. We'll be dropping a reveal video and reaction when that comes to be. Next up, the 2025 Toyota Camry hybrid pricing. So the base LE trim is going to start at $29,495, which is $455 less than the previous LE hybrids. Higher trims are obviously going to cost more. All-wheel drive is going to add $1,525 to that pricing. The new LE and XLE models are going to be lower than the outgoing hybrid equivalents, but the SE and the S and the XSE, which is like their higher trim levels, are going to be more expensive than before. So the cheaper, more obviously the bare basic trim levels, which is the LE, XLE, going to be cheaper than last year's models, and then the higher end trims, SE, XSE, is going to be more expensive. So all Camrys will now use a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with a front wheel drive versions paired with 2 electric motors that combined are going to be putting out 225 horsepower. The all-wheel drive models are going to add a third e-motor that's going to boost it up a little bit to 232 horsepower. Stepping up from the SE grade is going to bring 18-inch wheels, black 18-inch wheels with a sportier interior and exterior. The price is set to rise to $31,795. Moving up, going to a front-wheel drive XLE is going to be $34,495, which is going to be a discounted price of $345 over the last year XLE hybrid. The X go all the way up to the XSE. Now, those are some hard letter combinations to say. You're going to get 19-inch wheels, and you're going to get a sport tune suspension, but it's going to be at $35,695. Said basically $305 more expensive than last year's trim level at trim level. If you get any trim level with the X, it's going to come standard with a 12.3 touchscreen, identical with a digital gauge cluster with a JBL system. The LE and the SE is going to have a 7-inch digital gauge cluster and an 8-inch infotainment screen setup. All-wheel drive is going to cost $1,500 more on all trim levels, and it's supposed to hit the dealerships this spring. More to come on that. And for the last bit of news today that we're going to cover for this weekly recap is going to be the 2025 GMC Terrain. They dropped a little teaser of their front end for the 2025. It is expected to be, I don't know if it's going to be a full redesign, but I'm assuming it's going to be a full redesign for the 2025 model year. The Terrain is going to get a boxier, more aggressive look, similar to the GMC Yukon, and it's going to reveal a big digital touchscreen, a vertical digital touchscreen, along with a digital dash. Let me see here, and go back to the article that they released. The picture that they showed as the teaser is going to be an AT4. So if you know, GMC's version of an off-road trim level is an AT4, sometimes also an elevation trim level. So this one is going to be the Terrain, which is their 5-seater, I believe, SUV. And yeah, it's going to be GMC's in the process of overhauling its SUV lineup. So first they did the 2024 Arcadia, and then the Yukon is being refreshed as well. So now the Terrain is getting that same love and attention. So the AT4 is their off-road oriented trim level, as I mentioned earlier. So obviously it's probably going to be a little bit lifted, I would assume. If not lifted, it might just have the appearance of lifted, and then it might have all-terrain wheels, some kind of black wheels, and go from there. Not much information has come out about it, but more to come when they reveal more. So hopefully next week they'll reveal more. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. All right. Let me see anything else here. Nope, that's it for this week's recap. Hopefully that covered everything we talked about. Some of these topics have its own standalone video. Some of them will be getting their own standalone video. And if not, check out our playlist called Car News, where you can see all of our car news videos. All right, well, till the next one, thank you for being in the driver's seat. Till the next one, peace.